The most influential people you've never heard of. Level B, 1. Intermediate. History is full of famous names, but many changes that shaped our modern world came from people who never became celebrities. They worked quietly, often without reward, sometimes without recognition, and only long after their deaths did the world finally understand how deeply they changed everyday life. Their inventions, discoveries, and ideas are everywhere around us, inside our phones, in hospitals, in art museums, in space exploration, and even in our daily messages. These are the unseen figures who helped build the modern age. One of them was Hedy Lamarr. Most people know her as a glamorous Hollywood actress, but few realize that she helped create the technology that later became Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. During World War II, her idea of switching radio frequencies in secret was used to protect military communication from enemy interception. She received no recognition at the time and continued her acting career, while her invention eventually became one of the foundations of today's wireless communication. Now millions of devices use her concept every second, from phones to airplanes, yet her name remains unfamiliar to many. Another forgotten mind was Rosalind Franklin, the scientist whose research on DNA provided the key evidence for understanding its shape. Two men, Watson and Crick, later became famous for announcing the double helix structure, but the crucial photograph behind the discovery, Photo 51, was produced by Franklin. She did not live to see her contribution recognized, and decades passed before people realized the importance of her quiet, careful work. Modern genetics, medicine, and biology stand on her discovery, yet she never saw the glory that others received. Nikola Tesla also fits into the group of silent geniuses. Today, his name is a symbol of innovation, but during his life he struggled financially, while others gained wealth and attention. His ideas built the modern world: alternating current, electric motors, wireless communication, and technologies that power cities. While Edison was celebrated, Tesla worked alone, often misunderstood, dreaming of clean energy that could travel freely through air. The modern world, with its electricity networks, lights, and global power systems, follows his designs. Some people were ahead of their time in ways no one could understand. Ada Lovelace, for example, imagined computer programming long before computers existed. She worked with inventor Charles Babbage and wrote notes explaining that machines could one day create music, language, and images, not only solve numbers. Today, her predictions are normal parts of life: coding, artificial intelligence, digital creativity. But when she wrote them in 1843, the world had no idea what she meant. History also includes people who saved lives through small but powerful ideas. Ignaz Semmelweis discovered that washing hands could prevent deadly infections after childbirth. His colleagues ignored him because at that time, hygiene was not considered important in hospitals. Thousands of women continued to die because doctors believed traditions more than science. Years later, medicine finally accepted his idea, and hand washing became a basic rule in healthcare. Semmelweis never saw the change, yet his simple theory protects millions today. Before abstract art entered museums, an almost unknown painter named Hilma af Klint created symbolic, geometric canvases that looked like messages from a secret visual language. Her works came years before Kandinsky and other famous modern artists. She believed the world was not ready for her paintings and kept them private. Only recently did museums recognize her as a true pioneer of abstraction, someone who painted the future before the art world accepted it. The internet itself has a hidden founder, Tim Berners-Lee. He did not only imagine the web, he built it and then gave it away for free so that everyone could use it. He could have been one of the richest people in the world, but he chose openness for the sake of knowledge. Today, billions use his creation daily, mostly unaware of the quiet man who made connection and information universal. Space history also contains invisible heroes. Katherine Johnson, a mathematician at NASA, used her calculations to send astronauts safely into orbit and bring them home. At a time of strong racial and gender discrimination, her work was hidden behind more public names. Only late in her life did she receive recognition. Without her mathematics, early space missions might not have succeeded. Some inventions changed the way humans communicate emotionally. Shigetaka Kurita, a Japanese designer, created the first emojis. Before them, messages felt cold and emotionless. With a small heart, a smile, or a moon icon, people could suddenly express feelings easily across languages and cultures. He did not seek fame and simply wanted technology to feel human. The way we touch screens today also comes from someone almost unknown. E.A. Johnson developed the basic concept of touchscreens decades before smartphones existed. His work was designed for air traffic systems, and only later did it become the foundation of modern personal technology. Every time people swipe, tap, zoom, and unlock, they use his hidden invention. Animation also had its quiet builder. Before Disney made his iconic characters, a German filmmaker named Lotte Reiniger created silhouette animation with paper cutouts, backlit images, and delicate movement. Her films carried magic without sound or color, and the techniques she invented later shaped Disney's storytelling style. She worked alone, with scissors and light, not knowing she was building the beginning of animation history. Alexander von Humboldt looked at the world differently. Instead of studying a single plant or animal, he connected everything: climate, forests, oceans, mountains, and humans. He wrote that cutting trees changes rain, that destroying ecosystems damages global balance, and that nature is a living network. These ideas later became ecology. He understood the planet as one organism long before environmental science existed. The story of entertainment technology continues with Ralph Baer, the engineer who invented the first video game console. It was simple, just shapes moving on a screen, but it opened a doorway to a world of digital play. Today, games form an entire industry, creating jobs, tournaments, careers, and communities across the world. Baer worked quietly, never imagining the scale of what would grow from his early device. Education and psychology were also transformed by someone not widely known. Alfred Binet designed the first IQ test to help children learn according to their needs. His goal was understanding, not judgment. Later, the test was misused in some countries, but his original intention remains important. Intelligence is complex, and learning deserves support, not punishment. Even the idea of a connected digital world began with someone who simply imagined it on paper. Vannevar Bush described something like the Internet in 1945, writing about information stored in connected pathways, searchable and accessible. He did not build it, but planted the idea that later inspired Berners-Lee. The modern online world began as a thought in his mind. All these people share something important. They did not search for fame or reward. They worked in silence, sometimes without support, sometimes against society's opinion. Their ideas were ahead of their time, too advanced for the world to accept immediately, but quiet discoveries have long echoes, They reach across generations and shape how people live. History often remembers loud voices and public power. Yet the strongest influences sometimes come from unseen places. A laboratory, late at night. A notebook full of private sketches. A desk with unfinished equations. A studio hidden from the world. A scientist who asks careful questions instead of giving loud speeches. The world changes through patience. Progress is built not by noise, but by curiosity, detail, testing, mistake, and improvement. Behind every famous invention or leader, there are workers, designers, thinkers, and researchers who remain unknown but essential. Many future geniuses may also remain invisible. Someone right now might be developing a medical breakthrough in a small clinic, a clean energy invention in a workshop, or a new communication method on a laptop at home. Society often celebrates the face, not the foundation. The speech, not the experiment. The name, not the mind. But the quiet truth remains. The modern world was built not only by the people we remember, but by those we forget. Their ideas travel through time, shaping today and preparing tomorrow. Great change often begins where no one is looking.